Start to read with me. It's so much fun and you'll agree that it's easy when you start to read with me. Read along with the words I say. Keep on trying, then someday you'll be reading by yourself. You can do it. First you watch and listen, then get right to it and say the words with me. Don't forget, you can read along with these stories over and over again. Start to read with me. A whole wide world of wonder is waiting when you start to read, when you start to read with me. We're gonna have a good time. Loonette's Midnight Adventure. This story is adapted and written by Devan Sharma, with footage from the first season of The Big Comfy Couch. One morning when Loonette woke up, the air was quiet, and the only sounds that could be heard were the gentle snores of her friend Molly, who was fast asleep on the couch. Loonette sat herself up with wide, sleepy eyes. Have you ever had one of those nights where no matter how hard you tried, you just couldn't get to sleep? She asked. Loonette wondered aloud. As she reached underneath the couch, she pulled out a squeaky toy that had been hiding there. That was the kind of night Molly and I had last night, said Loonette. We were tossing and turning, rocking and rolling. Loonette spun around, giggling at her own silliness, but quickly realized her mistake. Not so loud, she whispered hurriedly. Molly really needs her sleep. Loonette remembered the night before, how she had tucked Molly into the couch and said, "Good night, my little friend." "Can we have a donut?" Molly thought sleepily. Her thought appeared with a picture of a donut. "No, we can't have a donut now, Molly. We just brushed our teeth," Loonette replied gently. With a sleepy sigh, Molly had snuggled back into her blanket, and Loonette had climbed into her own cozy corner. But Loonette thought to herself, "But no matter how hard I try, I just couldn't get to sleep." Loonette reached under the couch again and pulled out a bright orange carrot. "Just what I was looking for," she exclaimed. "Carrots can see in the dark. How do you turn this thing on?" she wondered. "You could use a flashlight." "Oh," Loonette replied, tossing the carrot aside. She fumbled around until she found a flashlight. "Where's that noise coming from? Under the couch? What could possibly be under there?" Molly thought, maybe it's the dust bunnies. "Dust bunnies?" said Loonette. Her curiosity piqued. "You're right, dust bunnies," her voice dropping to a hush. "This I gotta see." She shined the flashlight under the couch, and to her surprise, the light awoke the dust bunnies, who immediately began performing silly little dances in the light. They hopped, twirled, and even did a little jig. Loonette was startled and wondered aloud, what was that? The dust bunnies took a bow and then snuggled back to sleep, leaving Loonette with wide eyes. As she shined the flashlight on herself, she got an idea. "I can make shadow puppets," she declared excitedly. Still feeling wide awake, Loonette and Molly decided to go on a midnight safari around the room, exploring in the dark, even though it's a little scary. Loonette and Molly tiptoed around, peering into corners and giggling at the shadows that danced on the walls. When they arrived at the dance academy, Loonette had a bright idea. She stood back up and cleared her throat. "Let's put on a light show," she announced. "All right, time to sleep," said Loonette, but they still felt wide awake. So she decided to read a story to help them fall asleep. She opened a book about a magical dream train that took sleepy people to their dreams. All aboard for bed, the conductor called in the story, and the rhythmic words lulled them into a peaceful slumber. As the story came to an end, Loonette and Molly drifted off to sleep, A few moments passed, and Loonette was awakened by the sound of her own voice. "And even though I've been up all night, I'm just beginning my day," said Loonette. "And you know what? I love to start every new day with a good stretch." Loonette stretched her arms wide and then decided to stretch on the clock rug. After her energetic stretch, she felt revitalized, but then she noticed Molly was still fast asleep. "Oh, you're right. Molly is still sleeping," she whispered to herself, trying to keep the noise down. Loonette tiptoed outside to Granny Garbanzo's garden, where she did cartwheels and felt even more energetic. But then she stumbled upon Major Bedhead, who was sleeping on the seesaw, clutching a parcel and a postcard from Auntie Macassar. Loonette tried to grab the parcel and postcard, but every time Major Bedhead went down on the seesaw, Loonette missed it. Just then, Granny Garbanzo appeared, dusting around her house. "Help Major Bedhead wake up, please," called Loonette. Granny Garbanzo dusted Major Bedhead's nose, but it didn't work. So they began to sing a sweet wake-up lullaby, and that did the trick. Major Bedhead woke up, stretching and yawning. "I have a parcel and postcard for you, Loonette," he said, handing them over. Inside the parcel, Loonette found a train whistle, and the three friends pretended to be a train, chugging around the garden with laughter. Back at the big comfy couch, Loonette blew the train whistle to wake Molly. "Did you have a good sleep?" she asked with a grin. Molly nodded and jumped up, ready to play the alphabet game. "That's a great idea, Molly," laughed Loonette. "Delightful if I do say so myself." But then she noticed the big mess they had made. "Oh dear," said Loonette. "I shall clean it up. Time for a 10-second tidy." Loonette leaped into action. She dashed around, stuffing everything into the big comfy couch. She was cleaning it up without stopping at once. When Loonette finished, the room was finally nice and neat. Loonette was extremely tired after tidying up before curling up on the couch, ready to rest once more. And so the adventure continues, with dreams of dust bunnies, a midnight safari, and the promise of a brand new day.